Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Kenya Horton. I'm the owner of BK FOREX Academy along with my husband Brian Horton. We're no longer with I Am Academy. We get those questions all the time. But in this video, I'm here to show you a live example of some trades that I just did on Euro USD and actually walk you through the live market of this amazing strategy called Kenya's Instant Scalping Strategy, KiSS 2.0, and it is amazing. We have a playlist on it. We have a 65-page manual that walks you through every single stage of how to use this strategy, example illustrations, risk management, everything. So I like to create videos that practically walk you through how to get results. So you're going to see that I'm going to walk you through the live market right now. If you guys have questions, you can comment on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also join our free public Telegram because I will drop trade ideas for this particular strategy in there. So let me show you what you're looking at. A lot of you are already familiar with the KiSS strategy. I have an earlier version of this strategy that focused mainly on how to use it with indicators. This particular method focuses on market structure, and we use the indicators for confluence. When I say confluence, I mean multiple confirmations of why you want to get into that trade. So right now we're looking at the 1 hour of Euro USD. When you look at my chart, you're going to notice that I use red zones. It's not really a line of where you should get in. It's more of a zone, an area that I'm looking at an entry or a take profit target or a buy zone, okay? So red means a sell zone, blue means a buy zone, and yellow is take profit. Now, you'll see right now, I'm interested in buying on the 1 hour. However, long term, my bias overall is a short bias, meaning that I'm more interested in selling long term. And so that's why my take profit targets are listed at the bottom because I don't want to mess up this chart. But when we use the KiSS 2.0 method, it's very, very simple. I've done amazing with this strategy, and I have a lot of statistical data that has proven that it works. A lot of you have attended courses that I've taught on this strategy, and so I just want to walk you through the steps. So we are scalping right now, which means that when we scalp, we're looking to make small, tiny profits in a short amount of time. We're looking to make as much as we can in a short amount of time. And one of the things that's very important is your risk management. So before I go through this trade, let me show you the very first thing that you're going to do every day before you trade is you're going to check high impact news. So you can use FOREX Factory for that. I use FOREX Factory, and what you're simply going to do is look for high impact news or medium impact news. And what we look for is, for example, if USD had a yellow, not a yellow, but this orange folder means that it has medium impact news. So this news could potentially cause some high volatility in the market. But what we look for more so is red folders. So if I click on here, you'll see that Euro has a red folder tomorrow, which is Friday, July 24th. Well, I'd want to be cautious when I'm getting into the market. I want to make sure you always want to have some type of risk management stop strategy, but you really need to be aware of red folders because they could potentially move the market in ways that you wouldn't expect. After you have noted red folders, you then want to calculate your risk for the day. So this is the most important. This is the number one thing we teach a lot in the academy. We do a lot of live training on it because a lot of traders can make money, but they don't know how to keep it. They give it back. And that tells me that you don't have a good handle on risk management. And so it's the number one thing you have to focus on in your development as a trader. So what you're going to do is enter the account currency. So that would be USD for me. And then you're going to enter your account size. So I put $25,000. This is a particular demo account that I'm showing you on, but this is the type of account that I'm used to trading with in terms of the account size. I never risk more than 2% ratio. And I always use when scalping, now everyone's going to be a little different because if you have a smaller account, you might have to risk less, but I'm going to show you how I do this. So when I'm scalping and intraday trading, I use a 50 pip stop loss. So I don't focus on this. I'm going to show you what I focus on, but this calculator makes me put this in here. But overall, I say I don't want to risk more than 50 pips on any number of trades at a time. So the account currency I'm using is Euro USD. You calculate it. And what this simply tells me is that my daily max risk is $500. So in order for me to live to trade another day, I do not want to exceed losing $500 out of this $25,000 account. My lot size, my max lot size that I should use while scalping is a standard lot size, which is 1.0. So when I'm scalping, What I refuse to do is I don't want to over leverage and I don't want to risk more than I should. And so a lot of traders, they will use these astronomical lot sizes, and that can lead to blow in your account. You have to be very strategic in how you approach the market. So what I do is I write this daily max risk down. If I know that it's 500 and I know that I can use a standard lot size, now I'm going to go to the charts and I'm going to look for a trading opportunity. So let's go ahead and delve right into Euro USD and talk about why I took this trade. So right now we're on the 1 hour. What you're going to see is that when you use KiSS 2.0, and you'll see this in the manual, and the link to the manual is in the description of this video, you will see that one of the first things that we do is we always mark up our charts on the daily. Now, overall, on the daily, this is an uptrending structure. You can see that, and you'll see that I have some levels marked here. So overall, I'm in a swing trade right now. I like to swing trade while also scalping in the middle of that. And so I'm in a swing trade. This is my sell zone here. And this is a buy zone that I'm doing on scalping right now, okay? But overall, my take profit targets are here, these yellow zones. So after you mark your levels, which we teach on how to do that, but you should know how to mark up a chart to find high probability setups in order to be able to take these type of trades, okay? So what you do is after you mark your levels, you want to wait for price to reach those levels. So now that we are scalping, you are more so worried about the 1 hour because that is the particular time frame that we're trading on, right? So you can see on this 1 hour time frame, we have a bullish trending structure. We have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high, and now you can see how price is kind of leveling off. We are forming a double top, and now you can see this impulse to the downside. And where did price come to and stop? Right at our trend line, also a previous level of structure, which is why we identified this as a possible scalp buy zone, okay? So you find your trend, you find your level. So we found our level, and the next thing you find is your signal. Now your signal can consist of various things. What I use is wick rejection. I also use support and resistance, which we have here. I also will use the KiSS indicators. So I like to combine this with something called, these are my KiSS indicators, and these are the 4 indicators that I use for confluence, for multiple confirmation. And what you're looking for is you want to see that price comes outside of the Bollinger Band. So this is a perfect confirmation right here. You can see I have it lined up. You also have a 5-minute confirmation where your RSI line came, or your RSI signal came below the 20 level. So you'll see I have these levels at 80 and 20. That's what I preferably like. I like for the RSI to be at about 80 or above it, or below 20. Those levels are very strong for a very good setup. And then I like to see my stochastic cross. So if you're buying, you want to see your stochastic blue line cross over the red line, and that is also below 20. And then you also look for a MACD cross. This is a perfect 5-minute confirmation. Once this happens, you move to the 15-minute time frame, and this happens very quick. Look at this beautiful confirmation. This is perfect. So you have where price is extended outside of the Bollinger Band, and these Bollinger Bands, we use them as an active support and resistance. So this is telling us that price is oversold. We have an RSI that is way below the 20 line, and it starts to point up. So you want everything to line up per the rules that I have inside of the manual. And once everything points up, you can see that from this point, which is where you could have had your entry, and all the way to here, so far, price went about 18 pips in profit. Now, on average, you can get about 20 to 30 pips with scalping, depending on the pair that you use. I go through in the manual which pairs are best to use for this particular strategy, but we want to focus on low spread pairs because we want to get into profit quickly. So you can see that that's about 18 pips. Now, depending on how many positions you execute will depend on how much you're going to make. So it's going to be different for everyone who uses this strategy. I particularly love to trade pullbacks. So you'll see right now how price went into profit and it's slightly pulling back. What I've noticed is that when the 15-minute MACD crosses, price will usually pull back. It may retest my initial entry. And so let me show you the trades that I got into and took profit. So you'll see that this is where price started to reverse right at 1542 or so. I got in somewhere right around here or so. I'm going to show you exactly where. So how many trades you can take, it's totally up to you. Remember, my total max loss was $500, right? So you might be asking, if I entered here, where would I drop my stop? So there's a few things that I do. Now, one, we have a trend line here, okay? And I'm also following market structure. So honestly, if I were to turn this to a line chart, you can see that this is the previous low. So until this low is broken, we really don't have a structure level that's been broken yet. So I have to consider that, even though I have this trend line here, okay? And so when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at, well, what is the possibility that price could break this area? And if it does, where could it test down to? So I'm looking at here, this area here, because this was also an area that was previous support and also resistance. And so that could be a possibility. However, the indicators, which we use as confluence, told me otherwise, that this was a very strong setup and that it was pretty much going to go my way. So how would you plan out your stop? I don't like to use very tight stop losses, especially around major structure levels. But what I would do, so from here, my stop would probably be somewhere, especially if you're scalping, really, I probably would have done my stop right about 15 pips or so, because had price gone below this, then I probably would want to be really cautious, especially if these red candles look very impulsive and it's showing no signs of weakness. So it's going to depend. You have to test it a lot to see exactly what I'm talking about. But remember, I also have that daily max risk. So it's not so much how many pips should you use for a stop loss. Certainly when you're scalping, you have to be careful. But what I like to do is, instead of using very high lot sizes, I lower my lot sizes and I spread out my stop loss, so that way I have a lot of buffer in the market, which means that if anything goes wrong, I'm not stuck. I'm not panicking. I'm not stressed out when I'm trading. I'm not using astronomical lot sizes that are going to cause me to blow my account or lose a big chunk of money. And I trade, it's just a beautiful way to trade. And I had to learn this on my own, okay? So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to take you to my MT4, and I'll just show you the results of the trades that I've gotten into so far. And you can see where price is right now and what it's doing. But I just want to show you how you can actually execute. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to switch really quickly to show you my MT4. And by the way, if you have any questions, you can comment on this video and let me know what questions you have, okay? So remember, I told you that I got into 2 positions so far. Now, although I could have used a standard lot size, I could have done like 4 or 5 positions, okay? I could have done 4 or 5 positions at $1. I still would be far from my daily max lot size, which was a standard lot size of $10. So you never want to trade close to your standard or your daily max lot size, because you won't have much leverage if things go wrong, all right? So you'll see that I made $12.90. That happened literally within minutes of getting into these trades, and I scale out my profits. So you'll see I closed the first one with $2.30, the second one with $11.30. But imagine had I entered 2 more positions at the same time. So I could have entered 3 or 4 positions at the same time, and I could have roughly made, maybe $25 to $30 or more just by doing that. So you can see how this can be very profitable, just depending on how you execute, but everyone will be different. But I like to execute with multiple lot sizes and take advantage of the current volatility. So that is pretty much how you use this particular strategy, and it is amazing. It absolutely does work. But I like to do these videos because for those of you who do have the manual, it's good that you see these live trades, these live practical examples of, okay, what's going on? How do we actually find our trending structure and our level and our entry signal? Because a lot of traders ask me that. How do you get into the market? How do you know where to take profit? And if you don't know those things, I really suggest that you invest in a solid education, because you really need the proper education to be able to feel confident when you're trading. And then you want to adopt a trading system and test it over and over and over again. And you have to record your analysis to find your proven edge with that system. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this quick example of Euro USD in a live trading environment. If you have questions, comment on this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and also join our public Telegram, where we share trade ideas and lots of other great info. If you need information on our trading academy, everything is in the description of the video. I am so excited to bring another training to you and look forward to the next one. You guys be blessed and thanks for watching.